Okay, are there any questions? Yes.
Hi, Mayor. Tom Fitzgerald from Channel 5. Could you just walk through for folks so they understand what was going on here and what did you need to fix in the facility?
Sure, thank you. Director McGaffin.
Hi, thank you. It was an older facility and it did not meet the needs space-wise. So we expanded this by 40%. Right now at UCC, we didn't have the capabilities to bring everyone here. Now if something happens at UCC, we can absolutely bring everybody here, including our partners from the fire department and police department. We couldn't do that before.
Was it technology? Was it a combination of human factors?
It was,
what did you need to improve?
We needed more space. So if you look behind you, there's some columns. That was a wall. And so we knocked it out. We've added on. It was sheerly space. The technology we were able to upgrade, but also there was some older technology here that needed to be taken out. And we didn't want to touch that because we put new technology in. So we shut this building down. We kept a small footprint here in the basement level if we needed to do a continuity of operation so that we weren't without a backup if necessary. And then we kind of came in, cleaned up, expanded, and have made it a true one-for-one backup site.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Helpful to understand. Mayor, if I could ask you.
One second. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. If I could ask you, Mayor, there's been some reporting over the last couple of days about the council and how they'll deal with the RFK deal. There had been a July 15th date. If the council can't meet that date, does that jeopardize the deal that you've worked out with the commanders?
The council can meet that date. The council has the budget. They have 70 days to work on the budget, which actually ends on August the 4th. And as long as this deal goes with the budget, I think our agreement lives. If it doesn't, our agreement dies.
There's no opportunity to extend that deadline?
For what? We have, even now, 6 weeks to answer any questions, to work on any issues, and to embrace turning 180 acres on the Anacostia River into a thriving revenue-producing new neighborhood in the district. The district is in a position where we have to lean into growth. We cannot rely on the old economy. The federal jobs, they're not growing. In fact, we're trying to save the ones that we have. So we have to leave into a strong growth agenda, and we have an incredible opportunity to bring our team home, to have $2.7 billion of private investment, and to get this started and to get it right now. Now is not the time for some imaginary deadline into the future that nobody knows what it is. The time is now to act. Yep.
Mayor Bowser, John Barr with 7 News. Given the challenges that the comm centers have had in the past, what does this investment by the city do, in your mind, to restore public confidence in the public that when they call 911, they'll get help?
I think the public is pretty confident in calling 911, as evidenced by the number of times they call 911. They know that they get help. More than that, they know by calling 311, they get the help and assistance that they need. I think the message to the public is that oftentimes we don't think about the unexpected. Everybody here, their job is to think about the unexpected, including if something happens to our 911 call center that is at our Unified Communications Center in Congress Heights. And if something happens, we have the capabilities and the technology to be available. I'm going to give you a little anecdote. When I was first elected mayor, Dr. Nesbitt, who was our DOH director at the time, she brought me on a tour of a room, kind of about maybe a little bit smaller than this. And she told me it was called the HEC, and that is our Health Emergency Center, Response Center. It was empty, kind of like you say, wow, why did they invite us to this room? And you know what the HEC became? It became our COVID response center, because we always have to be ready for an emergency. So this room and space and center is ready in case something happens at the UCC that would render it inoperable. And it has happened. And it could be as dramatic as something literally happening to the building. It could be a loss of power that we can't figure out how to quickly get it on board. Any number of reasons. It could be one of the communication, like Heather can go in more detail.
Thank you. We have come here on several occasions because if somebody is out doing work and they cut a line, they're just out doing work and maybe they didn't call this utility, that can affect us. And so we need a place to go. It is absolutely imperative that 911 centers all across this nation have a secondary center so that 911 doesn't go dark if there is an emergency. So we have come here several times for just that type of situation. There, a couple of years ago, was a fire on MLK. We were able to easily send people here because the fire department had their road shut down. So at shift change, we were able to get here. During major events, folks show up here if they live nearby because this center can run in sync with our UCC. So we can be sitting at UCC and our call volume's increasing because of major events, and we'll see people starting to log in, and it's because they were able to get here very, very quickly to help us handle that call volume. So we will run this center 24/7, 365 days, because if there is an emergency, it's a lot easier to move half of your workforce here than to try to move everybody here. So this center and UCC over on MLK will both run. And it was really important for us to make sure that we had staffing to do that. And thanks to Mayor Bowser's investments, we are able to do that now.
I don't know that I heard specific staffing numbers. Do you have the numbers for what you hope to be the expanded staff?
That's right. So we have filled 90% of our vacancies at the Office of Unified Communications, so both call takers and dispatchers. We are able to have more folks on each shift because now we have expanded room here as well as at UCC. And so our goal is always 127 call takers and 107 dispatchers and 20 supervisors across the 4 shifts. Thank you.
Yes. Tony Wiggs. Muriel at DC News Now. For Director McGaffin, can you give us what a day-to-day will look like? Will there be 100 people over at OUC and 50 here? What does the breakup look like day-to-day?
It'll be half and half. Half of our call takers will be here. Half of our call takers will be at UCC. And then we'll have half of our dispatchers here, half of them at UCC. And then if ever work needs to be done, we can go to one or the other. This really provides us that opportunity. So as I was saying that this can work in sync, we also have the capability of making this operate as 2 different centers, and really 3 because we have Thor. And so what we can do is if we want to introduce new technologies, if we want to test it out, we can open this as a test center and we can keep UCC running as it would day to day to take and process those calls. At UCC, we don't have that capability. We can't half the room, but we can certainly half the 2 centers. And that's in thanks, to our partners like Hexagon and Rapid SOS who have created those kinds of technologies and support us. We have that support from those partners to do this, and we're probably one of the very few in the nation who will be running 2 centers simultaneously, but that's for the good of the residents and visitors here in the district.
And then how many workspaces were in here prior to the expansion and how many are in here now? If you have that.
It was small. It's a 40% increase. It was I think less than 70 for all. In fact, when we would come here, the fire department couldn't come with us. The nurse triage line couldn't come with us. The DBH line folks couldn't come with us. Everyone can come with us now, and we can do it pretty seamlessly.
That's okay. Over yesterday and then today, we're seeing the House take some votes on repealing some D.C. laws, the non-citizen voting, some police disciplinary, and then today they're talking about sanctuary cities. I don't know if you have any thoughts on any of these specific policies and the House taking action to repeal them.
To be honest with you, I've been pretty focused on our budget deliberations and didn't follow them closely. I don't think that we're surprised by any action that they've taken. Yeah.
The follow-up for the director, can you talk to us just about, and we're sorry, because reporters have a lot of questions about how OUC works, but just the technology, if something were to happen at your main center, this would still be able to operate independently, but have that communication, just a clarification on that.
That's right. Okay, so on a sunny day, as we kind of call it in our industry, if both centers are up and running at normal capacity, they'll talk to each other, everything will be fine. If one starts to experience an issue, we'll separate them so that one doesn't affect the other. We'll separate them out. We'll send the half of the working contingent to the place that's working well, and then our IT teams, along with the Octo team and our partners, will go in and address the center that's not performing where it should be.
Excuse me. Your turn.
Oh, and then just to follow up for the mayor, regarding the budget and RFK, some of the conversations that we're hearing from the council about stripping away the RFK provisions is that, well, we've done this with stadium deals in the past. Your response to that?
I don't know which deal they're referring to in that regard, but it has nothing to do with this one. This one is a part of the budget. They're budget items. And they're very, very specific timelines that the team needs to meet wherever they locate. So uncertainty created by the council will leave a big avenue for another jurisdiction to meet their timeline.
Has team reached out at all after hearing this to you, or?
Yes, they're outraged. I think they feel blindsided by the discussion. But listen, I believe we all want the same thing, which is what I've heard, that we want our team to come home, and we need to buckle down and figure out how to get it done. Yes.
Hey, Mayor Bowser, getting back to the question that was asked about the House's actions, you said you're not surprised, but do you oppose what they're doing, particularly with the non-citizen voting law trying for the third time? This time they have a Republican Senate. Do you oppose what they voted on yesterday?
What I oppose is their interference. And I oppose congressional interference. Whether or not I agree on the policy is irrelevant. I think that I oppose them interfering. The council has gone through the due process of the council, and the Congress should stay out of it. Yes.
Just a quick question for Director McGaffin.
Sure.
There's been some reporting that some of the instances where dispatchers were sending EMS to the wrong address were not uploaded onto the OUC dashboard as is required by the law that the council passed. Just wondering what your response to that is. Is that indeed the case, that everything has been transparently uploaded?
We have been completely transparent and compliant with the secure DC law.
Okay. Anything else? Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you.